The old man was a bit surprised and said, "Xiao, what brings you here?" Standing before him was none other than Yimeng, the deputy head of the alchemy room. As for the young lady, she was called Fuyao, renowned for her extraordinary mastery of soul power. "I'm here for him," Xiao replied, stepping aside to reveal Xiao Yan's face. "Him? What's this kid doing here?" This boy may have stirred things up recently in the incense pavilion, but our alchemy room isn't like the heaven, earth, or human halls. So, Yimeng didn't bother giving Xiao Yan or Xiao any face and was basically issuing an order to leave as soon as they arrived. In truth, the rumors about Xiao Yan had been spreading like wildfire through the incense pavilion in recent days, making it hard for anyone to remain unaware. However, Yimeng had to admit he admired Xiao Yan a bit, not for any ordinary reason, but because this kid not only broke the cultivation record at the sky-reaching river, but also mastered a dose skill that no one in the human hall had been able to perfect. Either of these accomplishments alone was worthy of admiration, let alone both. "Haha, senior, no need to speak like that. Junior is here today, mainly to seek help in advancing to the rank of second-rank Imperial Alchemist," Xiao Yan said with a smile. "Second-rank Imperial Alchemist? Your soul power has reached the earth grade of the Imperial realm?" Yimeng was visibly shocked. He knew very well that the scarcity of alchemists had much to do with the difficulty of mastering soul power. Soul power is the key factor that determines the strength of an alchemist, and every powerful alchemist is undoubtedly a master of formidable soul power. "Heh, barely made it," Xiao Yan said with a grin, as if he had anticipated Yimeng's reaction. Then, a radiant surge of soul power burst forth from the center of Xiao Yan's brow. Swoosh! The moment Xiao Yan unleashed his soul power, it surged toward Yimeng with such intensity that it was no less terrifying than a full-force strike from a perfect 6-star Do-D. "Good kid. I originally thought your talent was unique to the path of cultivation, but to think you're also this skilled in alchemy." Yimeng's eyes suddenly gleamed with a hint of mystery as he gazed intently at Xiao Yan, seemingly deep in thought. His soul power really has reached the earth grade of the Imperial realm, and yet it doesn't feel like he's just barely crossed the threshold. This guy, cold Fuyao, standing by the side, couldn't hide her surprise in her beautiful eyes. She had been training under Yimeng's guidance in alchemy for years, yet she was outdone by someone whose main focus was cultivating doqi. A subtle sense of dissatisfaction stirred within her. "Your soul power doesn't quite seem like it's only earth grade of the Imperial realm," Yimeng said suddenly, as if he had noticed something unusual in Xiao Yan's strength. "I was fortunate enough to reach minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm," Xiao Yan replied without hesitation, the slight arrogance in his tone impossible to conceal. "Minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm? That's enough to rival some second-rank Imperial Earth Pill alchemists. This kid." Yimeng was inwardly astonished. Cough cough. "Our alchemy room has always maintained neutrality and never engages with the heaven, earth, or human halls. So, you won't be able to use our facilities to break through to the rank of second-rank Imperial Alchemist." After a few moments of hesitation, Yimeng finally spoke. "Senior, I don't recall the incense pavilion ever having such a rule," Xiao, unable to hold back any longer, immediately interrupted. It was clear that Yimeng was deliberately giving Xiao Yan a hard time. "Haha, it's a new rule of the incense pavilion. Nothing I can do about it," Yimeng shrugged helplessly. "Sigh. Since that's the case, we won't trouble you any further." Xiao Yan gave a knowing smile and prepared to leave. He wasn't intimidated by Yimeng, especially after sensing his master, Elder Zhu, watching from afar while he used his soul power earlier. Although Yimeng was quite powerful, both in strength and alchemy skills, Elder Zhu was the top battle array master of the Mystic Three Heavens, and combined with his half-step Dosian strength, Yimeng wouldn't dare do anything. "Heh, wait a moment. There's another way I can help you. Not only that, but it would allow you to come and go freely in the alchemy room, using the pills here as you wish, for public or private purposes." Xiao Yan had barely stepped out when Yimeng spoke again to stop him. "What way?" Xiao Yan asked, turning his head. "Become my disciple," Yimeng said with a slight smile, as if victory was in his grasp. "Dream on." Yi Ming, you old fool. Did you forget this kid is my disciple? You dare try to steal Elder Zhu's student? Just as Yi Ming finished speaking, a thunderous voice boomed from afar, accompanied by a terrifying force descending like a mighty dragon. Cough cough. Just joking, just joking. So, you just want to use our facilities to break through and become a second-rank Imperial Alchemist, right? This is simple. As long as you, kid, can win against my disciple in a competition, everything can be arranged. Yi Ming, who had been startled by the sudden surge of power just moments ago, spoke up calmly. That burst of energy had clearly come from Zhu Jin, who had recently reached the half-step Docian level, far stronger than himself. Because of this, even Yi Ming had no intention of pushing Xiao Yan any further, though he couldn't help but feel regret. Xiao Yan's future potential was limitless, and losing such a promising disciple was a painful blow. What kind of competition? Xiao Yan turned to Yi Ming and asked. The voice just now had indeed belonged to Zhu Jin, though he hadn't actually shown up, only issuing a veiled threat from afar. Hee, it's quite straightforward. My disciple here has already reached the peak first-rank Imperial class. Though her soul power may not be as strong as yours, that doesn't mean she can't defeat you, Yi Ming said, getting straight to the point. The competition will be in alchemy. If you win, you'll be allowed to make your breakthrough here in peace. If you lose, then you'll have to look elsewhere. And stop trying to use Zhu Jin to pressure me. This is the greatest concession I'll make because, after all, I'm still the one who calls the shots here. Her? Xiao Yan listened and understood the seriousness of the situation, as well as the truth in Yi Ming's words. Without pressing further, he shifted his gaze to the girl standing behind Yi Ming. The young woman wore a blue dress that accentuated her graceful figure. Her short, shoulder-length hair gave her an air of elegance, and her lips and eyes resembled snowflakes in an eternal frost, exuding an aloofness that warned others to stay away. Her name is Lung Fuyao. She's the most talented alchemist in the entire alchemy room, with an almost freakish mastery over soul power. You'd better be careful, EngSubs whispered to Xiao Yan. I'm Lung Fuyao. I hope to compete with you fair and square. She stepped forward and extended her hand toward Xiao Yan, but her tone remained icy and her gaze indifferent, as if his minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm soul power was insignificant in her eyes. Hello. I'm Xiao Yan, disciple of the human hall. Not wanting to show any weakness in the face of Lung Fuyao's cold arrogance, Xiao Yan took a step forward and reached out to shake her hand. The moment their hands met, a bone-chilling cold seeped into Xiao Yan's palm. He looked down to see a faint smirk on Lung Fuyao's lips, clearly indicating this was no ordinary handshake. Damn it, your master is trying to give you a way out, and you refuse to take it? Fine. I'll take matters into my own hands. Xiao Yan cursed inwardly but didn't hesitate. A burst of earth-colored sacred flame surged from within him, instantly dispelling the cold and counterattacking towards Lung Fuyao. Arg. I underestimated you. Even though Xiao Yan deliberately restrained most of the sacred flame's power, it still forced Lung Fuyao to cough a few times. Her cheeks flushed, and her entire body turned crimson, as if she were standing next to a blazing furnace. Enough. Yi Ming intervened, having anticipated Lung Fuyao's antics. This guy possesses a sacred flame. It's time you stop being so stubborn. But Yi Ming's view of Xiao Yan had subtly shifted. His prized disciple had always had a smooth path, and perhaps a challenger like Xiao Yan would be a good thing for her. So what if he has a sacred flame? If his skills aren't up to par, then having a sacred flame is no different from wielding a useless toy, Lung Fuyao retorted, unwilling to back down. Her defiant attitude toward her master seemed to be her usual behavior. Heh, don't be so sure. The fact that I obtained a sacred flame says a lot, Xiao Yan replied, not wanting to lose any ground in this exchange. Such arrogance. Let's see if you can still talk big after you've beaten me. Lung Fuyao shot back, clearly irritated by Xiao Yan's confidence. Come inside. The competition will take place here. Yi Ming gestured for them to follow, and Xiao Yan and EngSubs stepped forward together. Her alchemy skills are formidable, but I still believe in you. EngSubs murmured as she walked behind Xiao Yan. We've arrived. The competition will be held here. As for the specific task, You two can decide for yourselves. Yimeng led them into a wooden building and spoke. What an impressive alchemy room. The wooden huts appeared rather dilapidated from the outside, but only upon entering did one realize there was more to them than met the eye. Inside, the hut revealed itself to be a self-contained small space. Within this small space, rows of alchemy furnaces were neatly arranged, with multiple fire outlets visible. At a glance, Xiao immediately recognized that these were no ordinary items. What do you want to compete in? Lung Fuyao asked Xiao coldly. How about alchemy? Xiao nodded slightly, understanding that for an alchemist, refining pills was a fundamental skill. Refining pills is too time-consuming. Since you're in a rush, why not test our soul power instead? Lung Fuyao shook her head, rejecting the suggestion, and then turned back to Xiao with her offer. Soul power? Xiao was puzzled. Lung Fuyao's soul power was at the peak of the mortal-grade Imperial realm, but still some distance away from reaching the Earth-grade Imperial realm. Not to mention she was far behind his minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm soul power. This person either has a screw loose, or she's hiding something. Xiao naturally suspected that Lung Fuyao was not as simple as she appeared, so he grew more cautious. Why are you dragging this out like an old woman? If we're going to compete, hurry up. I still need to refine some pills. Don't waste my time, Lung Fuyao said impatiently, her short hair slightly rustling as she grew more irritated. My disciple. She does have quite the temper, muttered Yimeng, who stood nearby, watching but not interfering in the exchange between Xiao and Lung Fuyao. Fine. Faced with her attitude, Xiao didn't hesitate any longer and immediately agreed. Whatever tricks Lung Fuyao had up her sleeve, Xiao was confident he could defeat her. Let's get started then. Oh, and by the way, you two from the human hall shouldn't come in, Lung Fuyao said to Yimeng and EngSubs. With a slight movement of her elegant jade-like fingers, a vortex instantly appeared in front of them. Let's go. Time to compete, she said before merging into the vortex. All right. Xiao wasted no time and turned into a streak of light, following her inside. Those two. EngSubs murmured, watching the pair disappear. Don't worry. They've entered a space we've set up separately. There's no need to be concerned about safety, Yimeng reassured her. Still, Hall Master, although Lung Fuyao's soul skills are decent, she's far behind Xiao, who has reached the minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm. Won't this be unfair? EngSubs asked, finally voicing her concerns. This girl's had it too easy these past few years. It's good for her to learn there are always people stronger than her, always higher skies, Yimeng replied with a faint smile. But honestly, I don't think Xiao has much of a chance of winning. Just wait and see. Yimeng chuckled mysteriously at the end. This is it. Lung Fuyao reappeared in a void-like space and turned to face Xiao. Let's begin, Xiao said as he glanced around. Seeing that it was just an isolated small space, he had no further questions. Be careful, I'm about to attack, Lung Fuyao warned coldly. If you can't withstand my attack, you lose. Immediately after, she stopped speaking, and her aura surged to its peak. As expected, she's at the peak of the mortal-grade Imperial realm, Xiao noted as he saw the brilliant, almost tangible soul power radiating from her. He understood her capabilities at once. Soul technique. Serpent devouring mountains and rivers. In the next moment, Lung Fuyao unleashed her soul power, surging like an unstoppable, world-dominating force. Good timing. Xiao shouted in response. Netherworld heavenly wrath. Not backing down, Xiao countered with his own powerful soul technique. Their soul powers collided in an instant, sending waves of soul energy rippling through the space, adding vibrant colors to the scene. So strong. After this initial clash, Lung Fuyao's expression changed. She had clearly underestimated Xiao. Initially, she had thought his strength lay in his Do Qi, assuming his soul power wouldn't match hers. Now she realized how wrong she had been. Not only was Xiao outstanding in Do Qi cultivation, but his soul power was equally formidable. We're not done yet. Take this. Lung Fuyao, after reconsidering, launched another round of attacks at Xiao. However, Each one was skillfully blocked, rendering the match increasingly uninteresting. Xiao Yin and Lung Fuyao have been in there for quite a while now. Why hasn't there been any movement? Qin Xian paced back and forth in the wooden hut, growing impatient. Could something have gone wrong? She asked with concern. They're in my domain. Nothing can go wrong. But you're right, it has been a bit long. Yimeng wasn't entirely sure of Xiao Yan's accomplishments in soul power, but he was well aware of his disciple's abilities. Even so, Yimeng didn't have much hope for Lung Fuyao's chances. After all, not only was Xiao Yin incredibly powerful, but he also had the support of a sacred flame and his soul power. They're out. It wasn't long before Lung Fuyao and Xiao Yin emerged from the small space where they had been battling, just as the two watching had grown anxious. Yimeng noticed right away that there was something off about Lung Fuyao's aura. He chuckled to himself. The outcome was obvious without her needing to say a word. How did it go? Qin Xian asked eagerly. Just barely, Xiao Yin replied with a faint smile. His voice carried little emotion, as if the whole ordeal had been insignificant. This guy, Lung Fuyao muttered, her face a bit sour. She couldn't believe that Xiao Yin, who appeared so mild-mannered, had fought without holding back at all, especially against a girl like her. Not a hint of mercy. However, she was somewhat relieved. If Xiao Yin hadn't pulled back at the last moment, she might have been injured in their soul duel. Her opinion of him improved slightly because of this. What's the matter? Tasted defeat? Yimeng asked, already aware of the result by the look on Lung Fuyao's face. I just made a tiny mistake. If we went at it again, I definitely wouldn't lose, she retorted, pride preventing her from admitting any more. Although Xiao Yin had dominated their soul battle, he had noticed that Lung Fuyao had a near-perfect mastery over her soul power. If not for his significantly greater strength, he might have had trouble dealing with her. Haha, you're right, Xiao Yin gave her an easy out, not pressing the issue. He knew well enough that Lung Fuyao had a fiery temperament. Pushing her too far would only cause him trouble. At least you know what's good for you. Master, he won, Lung Fuyao admitted reluctantly. Prepare the materials for his advancement, she ordered. Although strict, she was never one to be careless when it came to matters of victory and defeat. Haha, you? Giving in? I've never seen this in all my years, Yimeng teased, not letting go of the chance to poke fun at his precious disciple, who was normally so defiant. Xiao Yin, watching this lively exchange between the master and disciple, could only shake his head in exasperation. Come, let's take you to the advancement site, Yimeng said, gesturing for Xiao Yin to follow him. Advancing to second-rank Imperial Alchemist isn't easy, you know. You'll need a few other things as well, Yimeng added, leading the way. Other things? Xiao Yin asked, surprised. Although he had anticipated that advancing wouldn't be simple, he hadn't expected it to be so complicated. And where exactly would I find these other things? He asked, concerned. Haha, don't worry. We have what you need in our alchemy room. They were originally meant for my two disciples' advancement, but I never expected an outsider would use them instead, Yimeng sighed, a bit helpless. In that case, my thanks to Elder Yi, Xiao Yin replied. He understood Yimeng's intentions, but since he already had a master, switching allegiances wasn't an option. He could only follow along with a hint of apology. Yimeng and Xiao Yin left the wooden hut, heading deeper toward another set of cabins. Xiao Yin could sense that each of these 3 cabins was protected by powerful restrictions. If anyone tried to break in, it would be nearly impossible. His name is Xiao Yin, huh? What a terrifying guy. It's all your fault, master. You always told me I was the best alchemist in the world. Now look, this Xiao Yin. Lung Fuyao grumbled as she watched her master walk away with Xiao Yin, sulking a little. Fuyao, you're already very talented. But you can't just judge things by appearances, Qin Xian said, comforting her. It seemed there was a closer bond between her and Lung Fuyao. Maybe you think Xiao Yin is powerful, but that strength must have come from great effort. Your path has been laid out for you by Yimeng. You can't expect to keep up with someone like him if everything goes smoothly for you. Do you understand? Qin Xian continued, her voice gentle yet firm. You're saying... Lung Fuyao's eyes lit up as she caught something in Qin Xian's words. You've been stuck here for too long. It's time for you to see the world. I'm sure your master would agree, EngSubs said, not holding back. Will master really let me go? Cold Fuyao had always known she was just an abandoned girl picked up by her master by chance. Despite her constant bickering with the first and second masters, deep down, she knew the bond between them ran as deep as blood. But Fuyao refused to admit it and chose to avoid the truth. Trust me, they'll agree to this. And besides, the ruins ahead will be a good opportunity to get some experience. After finishing her sentence, EngSubs sat down slowly, refraining from disturbing Cold Fuyao any further. While Cold Fuyao possessed terrifyingly strong soul power and remarkable achievements, she was ultimately like a flower raised in a greenhouse. That level of skill wasn't enough to compete with other powerful figures, let alone someone like Xiao, who had walked the line between life and death countless times. By the way, Elder Yi, Cold Fuyao's soul power seems unusually strong. What's going on? Xiao asked curiously as they walked. During their recent battle in that small space, Xiao had noticed that although Cold Fuyao's soul power was only at the peak of the mortal-grade Imperial realm, he himself had already reached the minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm. By all accounts, he should have completely overpowered her. Yet their soul confrontation had been intense and evenly matched. If it weren't for Xiao superior combat experience, he might not have defeated her. This was what truly puzzled him. Have you ever encountered someone with an innate Imperial realm soul? Elder Ye's voice suddenly grew deep as he spoke. What? Innate Imperial realm soul? Xiao was stunned upon hearing this. Others might not understand the significance, but Xiao certainly did. Innate meant being born with soul power at the Imperial realm. This was no small matter. A person's soul power had limits, and once they reached that limit, breaking through again would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. But with an innate Imperial realm soul, Cold Fuyao wouldn't face any barriers before reaching the immortal realm. Her breakthroughs would come as naturally as water flowing downhill. Just that one trait of Cold Fuyao's meant that she could easily become a future alchemist of the highest caliber. A future immortal-class alchemist. Now that's a terrifying title, Xiao muttered, still taken aback by Elder Ye's revelation. An immortal-class alchemist was in existence as rare as a phoenix feather across the entire mystic three heavens. Even the pavilion master of the incense pavilion would have to treat such a figure with the utmost respect. After all, powerhouses at that level could practically cover the sky with one hand. That's a matter for the future. What surprises me, though, is you, kid. Breaking the training record in the sky-reaching river, mastering the Hall Guardian treasure of the human hall, a dose skill no one has successfully trained in since its founding. And let's not even talk about your minor perfection Earth-class Imperial realm soul power and your sacred flame. You've got more than a few secrets hidden, don't you? I'm curious who could have trained such a monstrous disciple. And don't try to use that old man Zhu as a scapegoat. I know exactly what he's capable of, and it's certainly not teaching all the things you've learned, Elder Yi teased with a slight smirk. Xiao felt his head throb at Elder Ye's questioning. There was no way he could reveal everything, so he just brushed it off, saying, I just got lucky. If you're not going to say, then suit yourself. But as a member of the Incense Pavilion, let me offer you some advice. Always leave yourself a way out. Walk by the river long enough, and you'll eventually get your feet wet. Elder Ye's words carried a weight of experience. After saying his piece, the two finally arrived at the door of the second wooden house. I understand, Xiao nodded respectfully, reflecting on his recent actions within the Incense Pavilion. Elder Ye's advice had struck a chord. We're here, Elder Yi said casually, coming to a stop. The scent of medicinal herbs in this place is overwhelming, Xiao remarked as he halted, his sharp soul perception quickly informing him of the situation inside. This is a forbidden area in the Incense Pavilion. If you hadn't defeated that Cold Fuyao girl, there's no way I would have let you in. Just this once. Don't make it a habit, Elder Yi warned, before falling silent. Xiao watched as powerful waves of soul energy began to radiate from Elder Ye's body. That energy gathered around the wooden house, enveloping it. A soul lock, huh? Quite advanced, Xiao observed, understanding Elder Ye's actions immediately. Once a person's soul power reached a certain level, they could use it to open small spaces. More importantly, for safeguarding precious items, soul power could be used to seal them off. A soul-sealed object was incredibly secure. Even someone with a higher level of strength wouldn't be able to break through it easily. Unless the caster died, the seal could only be unlocked by the one who placed it. Let's go. After a few breaths, Yimeng wiped the sweat from his brow, clearly exhausted from the effort. It seemed the process had drained a significant amount of his soul power. He glanced at Xiao and spoke briefly. As soon as Yimeng finished speaking, the tightly shut doors in front of them creaked open. Without hesitation, Yimeng strode forward. Seeing this, Xiao followed suit. However, just as Xiao stepped into the room, he suddenly felt an intense wave of pain surging through his body. Squeak, squeak. Damn it! Xiao cursed under his breath, his eyes turning slightly red as he weakly supported himself against the door. What is happening? Hearing this, Yimeng quickly turned around to check on Xiao. At this moment, Xiao aura seemed faint and weak, though it wasn't clear what had caused it. It's nothing. Let's keep going, Xiao said, panting heavily. He hurriedly retrieved several pills and swallowed them in large gulps. Only after that did the weakness slowly subside. Despite his calm facade, Xiao was puzzled. The source of the disturbance had come from the blood demon golden qi in his chest. This blood demon golden qi had been temporarily suppressed by Kai Lin's Do Xian level power. Even though it could be dealt with for a short time, it shouldn't have flared up like this. Yet, the moment Xiao stepped into this room, the blood demon golden qi became unusually restless, instantly breaking through Kai Lin's suppression and causing the earlier incident. Thankfully, Xiao had reacted swiftly, avoiding any obvious signs of distress. Still, Xiao couldn't afford to let his guard down. If the incense pavilion discovered the presence of the blood demon golden qi within him, his fate would be grim. The enmity between the mystic three heavens and the extraterritorial evil clan was deep and unrelenting. Since it's nothing, let's move on. The place where you'll break through is inside. It won't be a quick process, though. To advance to a second-rank Imperial Alchemist, it will take some time, Yimeng said with a slight nod. Senior Yi, what else do I need to break through to the second-rank Imperial Alchemist? Xiao asked, shifting his focus after calming the blood demon golden qi. Reaching the second-rank Imperial Alchemist is no trivial matter. While your soul power has already reached the minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm, you haven't made the breakthrough yet, Yimeng replied slowly. Your soul power is at the threshold. But to truly advance, you need a soul stone, he added, his tone calm. Soul stone? Xiao murmured, momentarily puzzled. His understanding of the connection between soul power and alchemy was limited. This was understandable. On the continent of Do Qi, he had Yao Lao's direct guidance and never had to worry about such things. But the Do Di continent was different, and many new challenges troubled him. The path of an Imperial Alchemist revolves around cultivating a spirit palace. Once you break through to an immortal-class alchemist, a true spirit palace will form within you. At that point, with a single thought, you can kill unseen or trap your enemies. This is one of our most powerful techniques as alchemists, Yimeng explained with a slight smile. The purpose of the soul stone is to compress and condense your soul power, preparing you for the future cultivation of a spirit palace. The spirit palace represents the pinnacle of soul cultivation. Rumor has it that beyond the immortal-class alchemists, there are those even stronger. They can use their spirit palace to imprison even Do Xian experts, reducing them to dust with a flick of the hand. You'll understand their power as you grow, Yimeng continued to elaborate. Even though Xiao wouldn't become his disciple, Yimeng didn't mind giving him some deeper insight into alchemy to strengthen his connection to the alchemy room. A soul stone. Spirit palace. Xiao muttered thoughtfully. This was the first time anyone had explained such matters to him, and the person explaining clearly had the authority to do so. Senior, how should I use the soul stone and build the spirit palace? Please guide me. Xiao, knowing that Yimeng's alchemy skills far surpassed his own, humbly sought his advice. As for constructing a spirit palace, it's too early for you. And for me, frankly, my advice now is simple. Your task is to consume the soul stone and compress your soul power, Yimeng chuckled. After all, Yimeng was a peak second-rank Imperial alchemist. Though he had successfully compressed his soul power and consumed the soul stone, building a true spirit palace was still beyond his reach. To create a spirit palace, merely compressing soul power and consuming a soul stone was just the first and simplest step. The real key lay in one's soul power. Only by breaking through the Imperial realm into the immortal realm could one hope to build a spirit palace. Without that, everything else was just idle talk. All right, kid. I've told you everything I know. The rest is up to you. Consuming a soul stone will be much like when you absorb the sacred flame. As for what will happen, everything from here on must depend on you, Yimeng suddenly said, his expression serious. Got it. Xiao nodded slightly, sensing that something important was coming. His demeanor grew more focused. But don't be too tense, Yimeng said, noticing Xiao subtle anxiety. This step may seem difficult, but it's actually quite simple. Here, don't say the incense pavilion hasn't helped you. The soul stone is in there. Go and retrieve it yourself. This soul stone is priceless out there. Without someone you know to help you, you'd have come here for nothing, Yimeng remarked as he led Xiao inside. The moment they entered the wooden house, Xiao eyes changed. He realized this was no ordinary place. It was a hidden chamber of the incense pavilion. Just from the rare pills he saw, Xiao knew that if these were taken outside, they would spark a frenzy among countless people. This was the foundation of a powerful sect. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Our alchemy room is the heart of the incense pavilion, and our support in pill refinement far exceeds your imagination, Yimeng explained. It seems the incense pavilion is far from weak, Xiao thought, a sudden pride for the sect swelling in his heart. We're here. Everything you need is inside, all set for you. You'll need a quiet space, free from disturbances, for your breakthrough. I think this place will suit you perfectly. Before Yimeng even finished speaking, Xiao suddenly felt his body lighten as he was whisked away into a small, secluded space. This old fossil doesn't know his own strength. A dignified 9-star Do-D like him? If I weren't so tough, I could have been squashed. Xiao grumbled, glancing around the space he'd been transported to. The alchemy room had numerous chambers, each protected by soul locks, providing the highest level of security. The area Xiao was in had been specially prepared by Yimeng for his breakthrough. Is that the soul stone? A pure, flawless, small silver-white stone with no discernible power? Xiao scanned the space and quickly zeroed in on the most striking object, a faintly glowing, pure white stone hovering midair. Such warmth. Xiao muttered as he stepped closer, gently waving his hand. Instantly, the soul stone was drawn into his palm. A wave of soothing warmth surged through his hand, making him involuntarily gasp in comfort. As Xiao held the soul stone, he felt the overwhelming power of his soul cease stirring, as if it was resonating with the stone, ready to merge with it. It seems Yimeng wasn't exaggerating. With this soul stone, I can finally become a true second-rank Imperial alchemist. Xiao felt a surge of gratitude towards Yimeng. He knew the value of the soul stone was immeasurable, and Yimeng's generosity stemmed largely from recognizing Xiao incredible potential. Still, Xiao understood well that having more allies always opened more doors, so he didn't mind accepting such a favor. Now, it's time to absorb the soul stone and compress my soul power, Xiao said gravely. He knew this step had to be done with extreme caution. One small mistake could damage his soul essence, and that would be a disaster. It's been a long time. Xiao whispered as a figure identical to him appeared in front of him. This person wasn't just a clone. It was another version of Xiao, and their presence and aura were exactly the same. Better safe than sorry, the real Xiao said, feeling a bit more confident with his Imperial Realm soul clone present. Aren't you overdoing it a bit? The clone teased. Absorbing the soul stone and compressing soul power won't hurt me. If anything, it's you who should be worried. And if there's any harm, it'll affect both of us since, in the end, we're one and the same, the soul clone chuckled. Exactly. That's why I summoned you. This all for one and one for all thing is too risky, the real Xiao shot back. In truth, Xiao was feeling a bit frustrated. Back on the continent of Doqi, when his soul power first reached the Imperial realm, he had learned about this technique. Later, due to some fortuitous events upon arriving at Xianling City, he had successfully condensed the soul clone. The clone had its pros and cons. On the plus side, it could fight alongside him.